Hey guys, so I'm making this video today because I feel like I've been hearing a lot of conversation about mortgage interest rates going up as well as inflation. If you're engaged in the real estate market, that's probably been like top of mind for you. If you're not engaged, you've probably still heard about it. Or you might be one of those people that like would love to engage in the real estate market, but you feel like the interest rates are holding you up. So really quick, I want you to think if you were ready to engage in the market. Okay, what would need to be the perfect interest rate or ideal interest rate if you needed a typical 30-year fixed rate mortgage? What would be the interest rate that would say that would make you think, oh, okay, I can go ahead and engage in this? So I'm going to draw a line just to represent the rates, and I want you to pinpoint when on that line would be the ideal time. So we're going to start at today's rate, which is at about 6.75%. And I just want you to say, okay, that's when I would go ahead and buy. Okay, run out of room, so we're gonna stop there. Did you find a spot? Well, obviously you're all saying, well, down here is obviously the best time to get out a mortgage, right? But if you didn't buy here, you've missed your opportunity. So if you needed a mortgage and you waited and then the time came when you had to move, wasn't just a luxury anymore, you're gonna be somewhere over here, right? So what I'm doing with this is not to say this is what's going to happen. I'm just trying to illustrate that no one has a crystal ball to accurately predict 100% what's going to happen. And you might miss opportunity while you're waiting around. I also wanted to use this to show that interest rates are still relatively low. So when you think historically, even over just the last 30 years, interest rates are still within a reasonable amount, right? So a healthy economy usually has 5 to 7% interest rate, and we're still within that. So historically, rates are still low. I think people have just become so accustomed to such a low rate that now it seems scary and like a huge jump, and it has gone up quickly, but it's still pretty low when you compare it to other prices or other rates in the past. But if you are someone where you still feel like I can't afford a home at 6.5 or 6.7 or 7% interest rate, they do have programs out there for you with lower interest rates. Or you could do a 3-2-1 buy down, or you could do an adjustable rate mortgage. And then if the time came when this line did go down, then you could refinance. So it's not like just because you're buying now, you're missing out on something. You're just taking advantage of what you need right now, right? But the main purpose for this video is not just to talk about interest rates. I just wanted to offer a little bit perspective on that. But really what I wanted to share in this video are some of the positive outcomes of interest rate going up for buyers. So yes, that is something we don't really love. But when you think about the market becoming more balanced because of this, there are some absolute benefits. And the first one is just really what people are bidding on homes. So yes, the market value has gone up. They've appreciated like crazy. They're maintaining that, which is great, but people aren't bidding over that anymore as near as much or by as much, right? So before we had people bidding 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K over asking price. Who wants to do that? Like no one wants to do that, right? The other thing that people might not think about is when people are offering that much over market, the following year when your taxes get reassessed, they're going to go up, and so are your neighbors. So your neighbors are not going to be thanking you for bidding 50K over asking price. So that's just a little side note to think about. The other thing is that buyers have more opportunities to buy a home that they love. First of all, I feel like people are having to compromise in a lot of ways, but also do their due diligence in their rights of the home. So you can get an inspection and still win or get an offer accepted. So previously, that was something people were having to forego because they felt like there was no other way to get their offer accepted. That's not safe. That's not very smart, right? You're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a home. You want to make sure that that home is safe and that it's going to hold up, right? So now you can get an inspection and not feel like that's going to hold you back from getting an offer accepted, which I think is really important. The other thing is, you have a better chance of getting an offer accepted even if your offer is contingent on you selling your home. So if you are a current homeowner and you have equity in your home, you can use that now and put it in a contingent offer, whereas before, contingent offers were like nowhere to be found because no one was accepting an offer that was contingent on someone else's house selling. So that is a good opportunity. If you don't have a lot of cash saved up, you can use the equity in your home, right, and still have an opportunity to buy another home, so you wouldn't have two mortgages. So in general, buyers have a better chance of getting a house they want. So not just one that they need, that they're compromising on, right, something that they love and want, right, and they are getting the rights they deserve in that process of getting that home. So I know some of you are thinking, well, what about sellers, right, because there is always a flip side. But the good thing is the market is relative. So if you're a seller and you're eventually going to be a buyer, you will get to benefit as well, right, as from the buyer side. But I also want to point out that even though the market is slowing and houses maybe aren't going 10, 20K over, they're still really appreciated right now. So your home values are still really high. So if you're wanting to sell, you could still capitalize on the equity you've gained just from living in your home while all of this appreciation was happening. So that's like free money that you could cash in on that you didn't have to pay for, right? So if you've been in your house a couple years, you have so much equity that you didn't have to pay for. So there's still benefits for sellers in this market, even though it is becoming more balanced, which in my opinion is a good thing because then both buyers and sellers are winning and it's not just a seller's market. So that is my silver lining that I wanted to share with you guys all today. Is just like anything else, when change comes, it's scary, but sometimes change is good. And I think in this circumstance, it can be good for people. You just have to change your perspective and think of the benefits and the opportunities that are presented to you. So I hope you found this helpful and hope you guys have a great day.